maybe let's just start off simple and both of you can introduce yourselves, especially you. So maybe you can go first, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, we have two Aarons in Jupiter, so I go by Aaron CQL.
The better one.
No, the less handsome one. I like to say that, yeah, to pretend to be humble. But yeah, my role has changed quite a bit over the past year and a half, but I'm still an engineer at heart, and that's mostly what I do in Jupiter. I engineer stuff.
Hi, my name is Wei Liang. I'm the lead engineer for Ultra API. So now all the swaps that you use on our ads, it's all done by me and my team, and that's my main role in this company.
Can you tell us more about how did Ultra come around? Like, because I joined like 3 months back. When I joined, Ultra was already there. I want to know like the prehistoric stuff.
From idea to the
just kind of give us an insight into how things work around here.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually said this a few times on my Twitter page and on like the planetary call as well. Ultra was really an idea we had at the end of December 2024, right? And that was like a month before Catstanbul.
Yeah.
2 weeks before Catstanbul happened, Meow came to me and he was like, "Hey Aaron, we really need Ultra."
Classic.
And at that time, Ultra was just an idea, right? No code was written, nothing was written, nothing was done. Right, it was just me and Mel talking about, why Ultra would be a good thing to announce in Catstanbul, not to get done by Catstanbul.
I think he meant that since the start, that he needs to get it done.
Yeah, maybe.
What?
Maybe. But I misheard, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my fault. But yeah, I mean, at that time, 2 weeks before Catstanbul, we had, bear in mind that it takes like half a day to fly to Turkey from Singapore, so that was half a day wasted. So now we were left with like 10 days, and then I had to prepare for the actual presentation of Ultra itself in Catstanbul, which also took a few days. So there was maybe really a week of real work that was done for Ultra. So at that time, the first version of Ultra we launched 10 minutes before I stood up on stage. I remember that like it was yesterday. I think Wei Liang and a bunch of other folks out there was like rushing out the front end and rushing out the APIs. So we did get it out. I think it failed, like the first deployment failed, and we had to wait another 15 minutes. And thankfully, before I got up on stage, it worked. And then
were you live demoing?
No. Okay. Thank God. No. But it was live when I stood up on stage.
Yeah.
And it worked. So that was how Ultra was born. Yeah, I mean, you want to continue the story?
I mean, that was like the early days of Ultra. Nowadays, Ultra has changed a lot. Like, it's kind of evolved into more than just like swapping. To me, it's more like a generic backend for most of our services. For example, our wallet, mobile, and our web app all use Ultra to varying degrees. Even like sending, you may not know, but actually it's actually powered by Ultra. So like it's kind of like becoming like more and more a generic backend layer which all of our frontend clients use. And then like it's because we in building like the swap experience, we kind of develop a lot of expertise in doing things fast, in doing things in an optimized manner. And since it's all there in Ultra, it's like it makes sense to just fit it there, since that's what we want, especially like the things like gasless and all these things that come along with it. So that's what it is now. And like we put in a lot of hard work into optimizing Ultra swaps. Like it's in the past when there was no Ultra, it was just like Metis swap, and Metis swap had a lot of guns. So Ultra swap was kind of like developed partially to like eliminate these foot guns, make it simpler for people to use, and I think we have achieved that purpose. And now it's like on top of that, Ultra provides additional features on top of what Metis couldn't provide, right? And that's kind of like the direction that it's been.
A quick question I would have: if Metis was already receiving the massive amounts of volume it has been, what was the need for Ultra, and what was can you name some features that Metis could not provide that Ultra does?
Well, I mean, firstly, like one of the key differences between Metis and Ultra was that Metis required a lot of customization, right? And previously, before Ultra, the UI required like users to set slippage, to set their own priority fees. They had to clear a lot of buttons and all of this, and it was not compatible with like a mobile experience, because I mean you can't expect a mobile user to have to like drag 4 sliders before making a swap. That makes no sense. Therefore, you kind of have to make like a sensible default, and that sensible default is kind of like Ultra, right?
Yeah, I mean the main motivation really is to simplify our swap experience on Jupyter. Prior to this year, so in 2024, the swap experience was, I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was extremely complicated, right? There were like 20 settings that the user need to tweak. And if they get one wrong, the swap might not land, it might take too long, right? So the Ultra API or Ultra experience is really to streamline this experience. They only need to choose one thing, how much they want to swap. We handle the rest, basically.
When you are like deciding what features to build and you know, especially for so many different clients, right? Like, are there specific design choices? Like for example, Wei Liang, both of us like go back and forth on like different integrated issues and like trying to figure out what is best for them. And because how Opinionated Ultra is like, there's a lot of thinking that needs to be done before we get a feature out, and especially for all these different like front-end clients, integrated clients. Like maybe you go through a bit of the process.
For me, it's like Ultra is meant to be like a simple API, right? Like if you want a complex API, you might as well just do it yourself.
Yeah.
So the reason it's opinionated is because we want to make it opinionated so that users don't have to make a decision while they're using the API, so that it's easy for them. I mean, we limit the scope of what we allow clients to customize, especially in different combinations and such, like to keep it simple and to keep it like easy to integrate. And most of them are actually optional add-ons that like they don't really have to care about unless they have a very, very niche use case. So when how we go about deciding like what new features to add and how to add them is more like, I mean, it's usually like a on-demand request from an integrator or someone who wants to use Ultra API, and we try to like see if we can fit it in, like if it conflicts with any of our existing features, and just that's how we decide.
One question I had towards you is that why were you the specific engineer to lead Ultra? Like, what skills do you have that you led Ultra? Because what if people aspire to work in Jupyter and they want to gain a specific skill set? Can you give them like an insight on why you?
Yeah, I can. I mean, previously before.
Actually, I'm curious about this too, like how Wei Liang got today.
I mean, before Ultra, before I took over Ultra, I was working on 8 Pro. I mean, now it's like deprecated, but then I was working on 8 Pro, specifically the transaction crafting and transaction lending. And during that time, we were trying to build a like trading terminal targeted at the trenches. So I mean, it's a different target audience altogether, and like, but to compete in that space, your trading needs to be like super optimized, super fast, like as low latency as possible. You need to optimize the transaction to the maximum, reduce all your compute units consumed to the minimum. So all these things, like during the process of learning how to optimize all these things, I pick up a lot of skills and expertise in like optimizing for the swap experience, and like this allowed me to translate my knowledge while building like the Ultra API. So it kind of like lead there.
You didn't answer the question.
Right.
So how do you get the skills to build 8 Pro in the first place then?
Yeah, but that was my next question.
How do you get the skills to build? You just got to build it, man.
Hey, so much build up for this.
Actually, so kind of interesting that you are the first-hand experience of our like legacy or like Metis API, right?
Yes.
So from that, from that stage and all the way until now, there's a lot of things that we have done to make Ultra the best execution engine and make it the easiest, right? Not just for the user but also API level.
Yeah.
But why do some teams still, like in your own opinion, like on a technical perspective, like why do some teams still choose to maybe decide to handle things on their own and choose to over-engineer things, whereby our own team has already gone through that process and done things and tried things and make sure that Ultra is the one that should be the canonical and the usage of how things should
Yeah.
go.
I mean, everyone feels better when they build their own thing. Like it's just an engineering mindset, I think.
The article we wrote.
I mean, firstly, it feels good to build your own thing and then like have your own ability to customize. And then you like, if everyone uses Ultra, then how can I differentiate myself from the rest, right? Like, it doesn't like I cannot gain an edge.
So would you say it's an ego thing?
For sure.
For engineers, I've
all
seen that.
engineers have egos. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
What ego things have you done in Ultra's architecture? Just to flex.
I can't share.
Hey, it was a bait.
We only do practical things in Jupiter.
Oh yeah, that has been my experience working in Jupiter. But yeah, we wrote an article. I think 2 months back. The article was named 600 lines of code nobody asked for, and it was to sell or basically convince people that let go of your ego, stop building infrastructure when your core product is not a swap. It's just a feature in your app.
Right.
Just integrate Ultra.
Right.
How do you guys decide when is the right time to ship a V3 to V4 or like a newer version? Like how many changes does it need to be for it to be a total version bump?
When Meow comes to you and say, hey, we need a V4.
Oh, that's pretty easy. Okay, I can confirm.
And then we spend like 2 weeks worth of time like compiling all the things that we have done and then writing it up.
It's not, I mean, we don't have like explicit planning for like, oh, we're going to release this version at this time. It's more like we consistently work on new things, and then when the time comes when we need to release new version for like marketing purposes or like event, it's like we already have the work done. It's just a matter of packaging together into a new version. Yeah, that's pretty
Actually,
much how it's been.
This may be like a not really political, but like why is I should be the one that answers this question, but maybe you guys can answer as well. Why is like, you know, we are at Ultra V3 now, but the API is still at V1? Yeah,
Hey,
it's a stupid question. Yeah.
You know, I've thought about this when I joined and was reading the docs.
Yeah.
Not true. Actually, API is a V2.
There's a V2. Oh.
There is a V2. Yeah. But I mean, it's all just like labels. It don't really mean anything.
Bro, that is not how it should be.
But that's the hardest part of engineering though.
Communication?
No, naming things.
Oh.
Yeah, we just bear numbers. You can't count apparently.
I think Meow is good at naming things. Yeah. Simple.
Really? I don't know about that.
I disagree, but okay.
But were you saying something?
No.
Yeah, I want to know, Erin, till date, what's the hardest engineering problem that you have faced?
Solving Meow.
No.
Well, Meow is one person.
That's psychological engineering.
There are two hard problems in engineering. One is the actual engineering, the actual work of writing the code, architecting systems, etc. The second part is building that machine that builds the software, right? Meaning you, me, us, right? Jupyter has grown extensively over the past year. We started last year with like 50 people, 50. Mama, you were here, you will remember. And then right now we're like 150, 160.
Yeah, around that.
Yeah, so it's 110 people over the course of a year, right? So the hardest part right now is really people architecting, right? Managing all the people within Jupyter to work towards a similar goal in a company as chaotic as Jupyter.
There's a mouthful.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
most chaotic company.
Actually, like to poke on this a bit more, like before CoinHall was acquired, or no, even after CoinHall was acquired, you guys were working on 8 Pro and everything. And then at that time, there wasn't really like a person running on the forefront for like swap, spot, all this, right? I was, you know, in and out here and there a bit, and then Aaron took over and everything. And then now it's like there's way more projects that we are building, way more products that we are building. And I think you are doing that same process again,
Yeah.
like stepping out of, you know, your engineering box
Yeah.
to work on all these like layers of complexity such that we move as a machine.
Exactly.
Like, can you talk more about like that whole process, because it's a
Yeah,
it's
pretty
a
interesting.
complicated process for like an engineer.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of software architecture, in terms of organizational structure, I think it all boils down to the same thing. It's an optimization problem, right? How do we optimize resources, no matter whether it's a software system or is it an org structure, right? How to put teams, where to place people. I think innately, all of us is able to see that, right? Like, hey, this team needs help, that team needs help, let's put some more manpower there. It's the same as saying, hey, this code is buggy, let's try to fix it, right? It's the exact same, it reduces to the same problem. So it's really just about applying the same principle that I'm applying to software, to then the company, to the organization, right? To how we structure our teams, how we push people forward. I think that's the way I'm thinking about it. Hopefully I'm not wrong. But that's the.
But it clearly worked out once with like the whole spot, Jupyter AG and everything. So
and I'm hoping it works out again.
Yeah, but at a larger
scale.
Yeah.
At a larger scale. Yes.
Okay, so a very existential question. What keeps you up at night?
Like the better stack. Probably.
Yeah, that plus more. Like what's one pain point in terms of engineering or Jupyter that is like you're like, fuck bro, I just want this to pass or just be over this.
Or solved.
Yeah, solved.
This is a hard question.
We are here for the hard questions.
So easy. It's fucking easy. It's just mail.
Nah. You went for the easy answer.
Yeah, that's the easiest
That's
answer.
the easiest answer. Exactly.
The easy answer.
But I sleep quite well at night though. I don't know about you two. Maybe you're too old to sleep peacefully.
Too old?
Too old.
Are you too old or are we too old?
You guys are too old.
Hey. No, but like you're building Ultra, like it's like forward facing tech.
Yeah.
You must be facing things like no one has done this before. How do I get how do I pass this barrier?
No, I mean, we do things one step at a time. Like when we release new things or we try new things, new experiments, we always do it very like systematically. So I'm not really concerned. Like we understand the risk and we manage the risk and we build systems to monitor the impacts of our changes and we anticipate the risk. I think that's important and like it's part of our engineering process. It's not just myself but as a team. So I mean those are the things that we do to allow us to sleep peacefully at night. Like I mean sometimes things just go wrong, like there's like Cloudflare, there's not much you can do, like, but these are all things that we acknowledge that there's such risk and we are willing to accept them. Like that's just how it is.
Let me glaze them a little bit since it's so shy about sharing more, but we do take user security very seriously. So like what he said, everything that we roll out very slowly, right? From like 0.1% of users to maybe 1%, right? If anything goes wrong, we revert, right? We don't play with our customers' funds, obviously. We don't try and experiment with stupidly. We experiment smartly. So what we mean by that is that if we have a hypothesis of what we want to try out, we will only try it out on very specific things that we can measure. And we measure everything. So that if anything changes, if there's a benefit, then we will start rolling out, but also incrementally, right? Not just suddenly, 100% of users have it. No, we don't do that. We say, hey, 1% of users, do they receive the same benefits? Maybe 10%, maybe 50%, right? So this has always been the philosophy of Ultra and also always been the philosophy of everything we do at Jupyter. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on developer platform?
The way I think about the developer platform is that it's just another interface for using Jupyter products, right? We have a couple of interfaces. Jupyter.ag is one of them, mobile is another one of them, or extension wallet is another one of them, but these are user interfaces.
Yeah.
Right. If a developer wants to use it programmatically, for whatever use case they have, right, we don't discriminate, right? We should give them a platform for them to use us as effectively as possible. The dev platform is one way, right? There could be other ways, right? There could be like agentic use cases, like maybe running AI agents to trade on your behalf, which I'm pretty sure some of us are doing, not me, some of us. But I mean, I don't see how it's not a good investment. Yeah.
With AI and agentic programming coming in, how do you think about team structures and team sizes?
Good question. It's the exact same thing I'm going to talk about tomorrow, or on Thursday, or on Saturday.
Tomorrow's announcement, everyone is fired. There is no Ultra lead.
It's just me and AI.
Yeah.
So in Jupiter, actually historically we've always had very lean teams, right? Not just now, not just currently, but even before I joined, right? It has always been very lean, right? 1 to 2 engineers per product, which is crazy in other companies, right? You don't have just 2 engineers on one product generating millions of dollars of revenue, per year. But that's the philosophy we're trying to go with, and that's the philosophy we are still with, even with 170 people, right? Because let's face it, we have 25 products, right? Or maybe more, I don't know, I lost count. And in this 170, 150 people, maybe only 80 people are actual engineers. So we divide 80 by 25, so it's like maybe like 2 or 3 engineers per team at the very most. So we are trying to move to a system where we are becoming AI native. What that means is that we encourage engineers to use AI to 10x their workflow, right? And this is my belief. I don't know if Wei Liang agrees, and you can chime in later on, but I do think AI is the force multiplier, right? If you are a great engineer, AI can make you become an excellent one.
Yeah.
And if you're an excellent engineer, it's going to 10x you, basically, right? So what we want to do is not to simply hire 10x engineers, right? Because I believe engineers can be built to be 10x, right? So we want to build that ecosystem, that environment for Jupiter engineers to become 10x. Yeah, that's the philosophy that we have. Keep teams lean and small, and then have AI be the leverage and superpower. I know you don't believe in AI though, so you can have your...
Yeah.
Oh yeah. First person.
I'm kind of known as an AI hater in the...
Oh yeah, let us know.
Among the colleagues.
Hit us.
I mean, personally, I don't use AI much, or at all actually, in my coding, and because...
That's the engineer I want on Ultra.
No, I mean, I've always seen and heard so many horror stories of AI hallucinating and writing nonsense. I've also personally seen it like in some of the code that is written here. Yeah, I mean, but I do acknowledge. I mean, even more now, even more so now. Like, it is very useful, but I would choose to use it only for very specific tasks that are not too complicated. I think that once it gets a bit too complicated, then it's not like gonna produce good results. For myself, I find that sometimes this is what I'm gonna try. I actually plan on trying, like, for small tasks that I'm gonna start using AI so that I can save my energy for the really complicated tasks. Like, I think that is how it can help me personally, and I think that is perhaps a better way to use AI rather than just use it anyhow. And like in the end, like, you pick up no skills, or like you just writing hallucinated code and like you don't review code, and like it's just a mess. Yeah, I mean, but I do believe that it is a force multiplier, but not in. I mean, it depends on how people use it, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It really depends on how you use it, actually. If you're a junior engineer and you just use it for everything, then you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you gotta know what it's doing.
Yeah.
So we had very different conflicting opinions from you both and from Julian, because Julian is like, yeah, our entire prediction markets on Jup.ag is made with AI.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Yeah. No, I'm not surprised because the Malaysian team is more open to AI, I feel, compared to the Singapore team.
Oh, this rivalry has not just in food and in geography, it's in AI too. But Aaron, I think we did talk about this before, or I guess someone else has talked to me about it with you in context. How do you think the developer experience of our APIs is affected with us being the biggest consumer of it in Jup.ag as a front end?
I'm not sure I understand that question correctly, actually.
Because we use the same APIs that we serve to external developers internally.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that affects in bettering the developer experience of how we serve those APIs because they are battle tested?
Yes. So prior to when I joined, actually I pushed for this actually. So prior to when I joined, the dev platform APIs did not have any intrinsic link with our UIs at all. So and one way you would remember as well, the token and price APIs were not used by our UIs at all. So when they broke, none of us knew that it broke. because they were not used by our UIs, they were not used internally, they were not used by any of our developers. So obviously, if we don't feel the pain, nobody would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, when the very APIs that we are giving to our customers is the same API that we are using on our front end, if anything breaks, everybody knows, including you, including
Better
me,
stack.
yeah, including the whole world. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I do believe this makes for a better experience.
Before you even feel the pain, we have gotten like 19 alerts on
Yeah.
our phone at 3 a.m. So we are more incentivized to fix it so that it is fixed for
Exactly.
you also.
Actually, it also is the opposite way as well. Like, there are things that we might not see that people still do use
Yeah.
through our APIs. And they're also like a way for us to access, like, all these insights that we might, miss out on, and then they can provide this feedback. And then, it creates an entire loop that these people use our APIs to provide their users. And then at the end of the day, their feedback provides us the value to improve the experience for our own users as well. So it's like
yeah.
hand in hand.
I think that's what Vibe and I are trying to do actively, which is like talk to more people who use our API so that we figure out newer use cases on what we didn't even know people use them for and how they implement them. Because I feel the way tech should be made, especially if it's to be consumed by developers, you have to consider people to be the stupidest person possible. And I feel I personally, when I was growing as an engineer and doing different things, I definitely assumed people to be smarter than how one of our smartest engineers would use them for.
Let's wrap up with maybe a hot take from both of you.
Yeah.
It can be engineering related, or it can be something to
And
do
you
with
can't
Jupyter, or
you can't cop out with mentioning meow.
But meow is not a hot take though. How is it? Should it be controversial or should it
Yeah.
be?
Yeah.
Oh, it must be controversial.
Yeah.
It can be extremely controversial.
You're a
if you
cook,
want.
man.
I think that tokenized assets are dumb.
Okay, that must be bleeped. That must be bleeped.
And that are his opinions and his opinions only. Cash and Xiao Xiao.
I agree though, so it's not that hot anymore.